Hi guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hi, my name's Eva and I'm a mortgage power planner. Now in today's video I want to share with you my 5 steps to living below your means. And the reason for this video is because I feel like, especially since becoming self-employed, and if you didn't already know, yes, I have recently become self-employed. And by recently I mean about 8 months ago. So yeah, I'd like to say that I've got the hang of it, but I really haven't. But anyways, aside from that, I want to discuss living below your means because I feel like, especially in the past, I was buying stuff to impress other people. You know, it wasn't to make myself happy, it was to show off on the likes of Instagram, on the likes of Facebook, to almost build up this image that I'm better off than what I actually am, if that makes sense. So appearing rich on the likes of social media is what a lot of people aspire to do nowadays, which, don't get me wrong, I've been there, I get it, I understand why people want to do that. However, my mindset has changed and I'm not in that mind frame anymore. Impressing other people doesn't bother me anymore. I'm doing things for me and I'm buying things because I either need them or I personally just want them. So if you want to get to a stage where I'm at the moment, where I just don't really care about other people's opinions, then this video is for you. But just a little bit of a disclaimer before we jump into the video. If you're going to watch this, you need to be serious about it and you're going to have to be honest with yourself about your spending habits, about what your actual values are. You are going to have to be really honest with yourself about that, and you might not like what you uncover, so just be prepared for that. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video. But just before we jump into the video, if you could hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel down below. It's completely free, doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me massively, so thank you in advance. Right, let's jump right in. Right, so my tip number 1 is to identify your current spending habits. So where is all your money going at the moment? Like, what are you spending it on? You need to know that. And don't get me wrong, we're all guilty of thinking, well, I know exactly where my money's going. But in reality, is that really the truth? I mean, personally, I've always thought I knew where my money went. But since I started budgeting earlier on this year, I did not realise how much I was actually spending on various things. So my first step would be to create a budget, and not necessarily to cut your spending as such, although it will help in this process, but it's mainly to identify what you're spending and where you're spending it. So it's all about tracking for a period of time until it becomes natural to you. Now, step number 2 is to ask yourself the reason for purchasing various non-essential items. So for example, you've seen somebody on Instagram with the new Balenciaga trainers and you think, oh my god, they must be so well off. I'm gonna have to get a pair to show them that I can afford them as well. Now, I don't think I have to tell you what is wrong with what I've just said. However, a lot of people unfortunately do think that way because they do think that material stuff define their place in society nowadays, which, let me just clarify, that is not true. You do not need Balenciaga trainers or Gucci belts or Chanel bags to prove how wealthy you are or how good you are. So step number 2 is to really ask yourself, why do you want to purchase that particular item? Is it because you genuinely want it or need it, or is it because you're trying to impress others? And if it's the second option, don't buy it. So that brings me nicely onto step number 3, which is to stop trying to impress others, because that is honestly the deepest hole you're ever going to get into. And as I mentioned at the start, I used to be very guilty for this. I used to think that material things would prove my place within either a friendship group or within society as a whole. So I was especially bad for it at school, especially when it came to mobile phones. I used to always be almost in competition, not only with everybody else, but also with myself. I used to always want the newest phone out there. My poor parents would always try and get that for me. And looking back on it now, you know, I think to myself, oh my god, like, how spoiled were you? It actually makes me cringe when I think about it, because I know for a fact satisfying fact, it wasn't because I needed that phone or because I really wanted that phone. It was purely because I was almost trying to prove to others that I'm better than them because I've got a better phone. Honestly, I can't even tell you what was going through my head at that time. But the point here is the fact that trying to impress others is only going to get you into trouble further down the line, because a lot of the times, especially given the average earnings in the UK at the moment, a lot of people get themselves into debt to buy all those designer gear, to try and imitate those people on Instagram, those influencers who are showing off the new Louis Vuitton bags and whatnot. A lot of people are trying to replicate that, but because they can't actually afford it, they end up getting themselves into a lot of debt. And I've seen it happen. So don't do it. Honestly, avoid it at all costs. If you can genuinely afford it and you genuinely want to buy it, fair enough. But if you're only doing it to impress others and you can't actually afford it, so you have to take out either a loan or you have to use your credit card, then you should know at that point that you should not be doing that. But as you know, this is all my opinion, so I don't expect everybody to agree with it. But if you want to live below your means, that is a necessary step. Now, step 4 is to actually review all your fixed expenses. So if you're renting or if you're living on your own in your own house and you've got a mortgage, you'll also have various bills to pay, various insurances, all of that malarkey, which unfortunately we cannot avoid. However, what we can do in these circumstances is actually review all of those bills, all of those insurance policies. Can we actually get the same cover or the same benefits elsewhere for cheaper? And there's so many comparison websites out there nowadays that it honestly takes 5 minutes to check that out, and I would definitely recommend you do so, because it could potentially save you a lot of money on the monthly basis, which gives you more disposable income. Another benefit of reviewing all your bills and insurances on an annual basis is the fact that you could potentially use top cashback to get even more money back, as a lot of these companies will actually offer you quite a lot of money to switch to them. So definitely make sure you go via top cashback, and I do have a referral link in the description box down below if you'd like to sign up, as both of us get a little treat for that. So you know, it helps me out. And if you do own your own house, even your mortgage, make sure you review that and make sure you know where you are with it. So a lot of people nowadays will be on either a 2 or a 5 year fixed rate. So do check your paperwork to see when that rate is actually due to renew, and contact an independent mortgage advisor to see if they can actually switch you onto a better deal. And if you'd like me to have a look at that for you, by all means just email me. All my contact details are in the description box down below. And the final step is to set yourself some money challenges, and the reason for that is to make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more interactive, rather than just thinking, oh, I can't spend money, or I have to save money, so I can't do this, I can't do that. Why not get a little bit more creative about it? There's so many different money challenges out there, such as no spend days, where you don't spend anything that particular day. If you want some inspiration, please head over to Tolu's channel. She's got so many different challenges that you can get involved in. It's amazing. So many different ideas. So I'll link her channel up here for you, as well as in the description box down below, so you can check that out. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you found it useful and I've given you some food for thought. I think so many of us nowadays are so caught up in trying to outdo each other in a way that we get lost in it, and we end up causing a lot of grief for ourselves with debt, with money troubles, and all of that can be easily avoided by simply living below your means. So making sure that the amount you receive on the monthly basis from your salary actually covers your monthly expenditure and doesn't go above it. Now, as you know, if you've watched my budget update, I'm currently not at that stage because a lot of my expenses are fixed to the point where I can't really lower them any further. I just need to increase the income part. However, I will be reviewing all of it and making sure I'm also on the best deals available. But with that being said, if you like this video, please give a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel down below. Remember, it's free and it helps me massively. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys back on Friday with another video. Bye guys.